dear Dr. Asma and the joint conveners, especially Sister Fatima Musafar, for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to be in front of you. And I convey my wishes to everyone in the hall. We are talking about a historically important bill. It's very important because I remember the lengthy discussions took place last year in the month of August when the Supreme Court verdict came out invalidating the triple talaq procedure. We people who are rationalists and feminists welcome the decision and we strongly support the Supreme Court judgment invalidating the mutalaq procedure. Some of the religious people contradict with our views and saying that the Supreme Court should not intervene into our affairs, but we people didn't agree to that view. We said, no, it is women. If you are not ready for changes, definitely the external pressures will act upon yourself and you have to accept when one practice is not justice, you should not go behind from preventing it. This is what we argued, and I remember in some discussions Sister Fatima and myself talked about this thing. Even in Chennai University the discussions were going on. But after that, I remember it is a 5-member bench which has delivered the judgment, and the judgment itself invalidated the practice. There ends the matter. According to us, there ends the matter. Now, you cannot, a person, a Muslim man, under the Indian legislation, a Muslim man cannot get divorced with his wife under the procedure of triple talaq or saying talaq 3 times instantly. This is what well laid down in the Supreme Court judgment which has been delivered in the month of August 2017. Out of the 5 judges, one of the judges opined that a separate legislation will be better to prevent this practice. It is not the entire 5 members bench opinion, but one of the judges has conveyed this opinion. So based on that opinion only, the government went ahead to introduce a bill with the name that the beauty that yesterday we have discussed about it. The beauty of the thing is they never used the word triple talaq in the bill. Even if you watch the TV and the media for the past 2 days, everyone is using the word and everyone is naming the bill, calling it as triple talaq bill, isn't it? But the name of the bill is not so. If it is triple talaq bill, the name should reflect the same, isn't it? But the name of the bill is the Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage Bill 2017. This is what the name of the bill. And if you go into the bill, see, we are not telling that you should not bring any bill. It is a welcome measure. Here your Dr. Asma has made a very good presentation and quoted what all said right from the Sachar committee and then Raghunath Misra committee, how they dealt with the poverty and backwardness of the Muslim women in the country and what are the reasons for that and how the illiteracy took a major role in that. All these things are there. A government, of course, it has a liability to eradicate poverty and illiteracy in a particular section of people, and it is supposed to take steps. We are not denying it. And to ensure the civil rights of the Muslim women, the measures of the government is always welcome. But we should remember, when you want to introduce a bill, first step, what you must have done, you should call the women of Muslim community and the representatives of the Muslim community women, and you should have conducted a discussion with them. What is to be done? And what do you want? What is your prayer? These things should have been asked by the government from the side of the Muslim women. But to our regret, I want to mention that no such efforts were taken by the government. See, if the instant triple talaq is invalid, such a kind of instant bills are also not valid. We should understand that. If you are insisting that you should not do divorce instantly by saying instant talaq, it is good. The same rationale is applicable for your activities also. What happened in the 1950s in this country? Dr. Ambedkar, who is called the father of the constitution, who was the only man working day and night and toiled into sufferings and brought out a constitution for us. He has introduced so many amendments in the Hindu code. Whether it was accepted immediately? How long it took place? They have not accepted the amendments for the property rights, mainly for the property rights and divorce rights, I think. But it was not accepted by the parliament immediately. Dr. Ambedkar, who has made the constitution, has resigned his post in the parliament and came out of the ministry just because the amendments he brought in the Hindu code was not accepted. Then it took 10 years. Then it took 10 long years to bring all those amendments into the Hindu code. Of course, the amendments have come, but it took its own way. But now we are not asking for that. Such a long time we are not asking. We can bring it quickly, no problem. But with the proper consultations with the concerned people, not arbitrarily. You cannot do on your own. You are governing all the people. Then the people's voice must be heard first. That was not done. That is at the first instance we have to point it out. So, okay, you brought the bill. What you, in the bill, as I said earlier, in nowhere the word triple talaq is used. Instead, the bill tries to define the word talaq. It is more dangerous. See, there are two talaqs. One is talaq and another is triple talaq. Okay, in talaq there is no issue. No woman has raised any issue. Talaq is the procedure prescribed in the Quran and accepted by the practice of the Muslim community. No men or women opposed the procedure of talaq and asked the central government to make an intervention into the entire structure of their marriage life or the codes and norms of marriage system. The women went to the court, some of the women went to the court only to challenge the triple talaq in which they got unduly affected. They lost the freedom of taking due compensation and they don't have the support of life. Because the problem is, why it all comes, the problem is the lives of women, not only Muslim women, all the women in the country. It is much dependent on the male members. If the male members suddenly leave them, then they don't find the support in the society to lead their life on their own. That is the basic issue which has to be addressed, not only for the women in Islam, but for the women in the entire nation. It is a problem for all the women. So, the problem raised here is triple talaq, but why the bill tries to define the word talaq, which is supposed to be untouched by this ministry or the court or judiciary, whatever it may be. Why it is unnecessarily defined? And how can you define, but in the definition, it is given the contents of the triple talaq as the definition for the word talaq. I think the Supreme Court advocate is sitting here. How poorly this is a draft. How can, see, you can define an object table, but you are defining the object of table, giving the specifications of a chair. How it is correct? If there is no word talaq exists, you can define it with whatever you want. But it is already existed, and the definition is given in Quran, and it is in practice also. Then why do you try to redefine the word talaq? It is also a basic mistake. Not only basic mistake, I don't say that the people are so ignorant or innocent of what they are doing. They know what they want to do. So this is done without anyone's knowledge. I don't believe it. How can they do such a poor thing? That is also to be opposed. And as usual, they are including any other similar forms. So whatever they want to do, what is their intention? We don't want. You want to eradicate malaria, you have to eradicate malaria only. Isn't it? Whatever the forms, what you want to include in it. So what is your intention? What is your real intention? That is the next question. And in chapter 2, this is a most dangerous section. And it is saying, whoever pronounces talaq, referred to in section 3, upon his wife, shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 3 years and fine. So both imprisonment and fine they proposed. Marriage is a civil contract. And I want to tell one thing. In Hindu system, the marriage is not a contract. Till today, they are not giving the full status of contract to a marriage. But in Islam, from the very beginning, it is treated as a contract, according to their Quran itself. So it is a civil thing. Why you criminalize the act then? Why you are giving the imprisonment? Who has asked for you? Whether the affected women asked you to send the husband to the jail? Actually, she wanted to get compensation and protection and other things from the person only. And if you decide to send the person to jail, then who will take care of the other things? Who will pay for her? This is the very worst kind of thing. And why they introduced this imprisonment in this bill? There is a question, isn't it? It is not asked for. It is not the prayer of the women, Muslim women to you. First of all, you are not ready to hear any prayer. That is there. But even if you take the prayer of the women who has filed the earlier cases, they also didn't make such a prayer. Arrest the husbands. It is not their prayer. So he introduced it. Why they have introduced? There is the answer inside the bill subsequently. In the subsequent provisions, they have clearly defined the offence. The offence is cognizable and non-bailable. What does it mean? What does it mean? It is the purely legal terms. The common people may not aware of the meaning. The meaning is, what is a cognizable offence? If you go into the legal dictionary, it tells, see, there are two things. If a person is to be prosecuted, somebody has to make a complaint. This somebody, who is that somebody? For some offences, the affected person can only give the complaint. And for some other offences, anybody can give the complaint. If the complaint is in some way affecting a public matter, it may be a belief or understanding or whatever it may be, If directly or indirectly the public interest is involved, anyone can make the complaint. But if it is purely a private matter, the affected can only give the complaint. Here, this is a private matter or public matter? Marriage is a private thing. And definitely the affected only can give the complaint. But they made intentionally that anyone can give the complaint. So what will happen? What will happen in the society? This may be used by the unscrupulous people as they want. A police officer, in one fine morning, he can go and call a man out of his house and he can make a charge. It may be true or false, but it will be proved subsequently in the court only, isn't it? But he can make an arrest saying that the man practices triple talaq. Or as the bill said, talaq. I don't know what is their intention. They may amend the law so that it will include talaq also. So they are making a room for it. They are giving the room for it. So the police can arrest anyone, any Muslim. And we know the political climate here. What is going on, we know. We have to see, we people, we are feminists and Periyarists. We won't accept any religious supremacy in our life and practice any religion in our life. But we have the concern of everyone's life and their security in the country. That is very important. We cannot give all the rights to the government or policemen to arrest anyone or to harass anyone. That is why we are opposing the Aadhaar system also. And now the problem, see, the Aadhaar is not yet sanctioned by the Supreme Court. But before that, we heard the problem of scam in the Aadhaar. We heard the story of scam in the Aadhaar. What does it mean? Then the country will become an open jail. If everybody's personal data is gone into the hands of some unscrupulous fellow, what will happen to you and me tomorrow? This is a very serious thing. So the attitude of the government is entirely wrong. Maybe the people may think that this is the issue of Muslim women, but we don't think so. It is not the issue of particular community women. This shows the arrogance and attitude of the government, which is the concern of every citizen in India. It doesn't belong to a particular community's problem. That's what we want to address. So this is the reason. So you want to make a legal tool to arrest whomsoever you want to arrest. This is what your intention. This is the intention of the bill. So the intention of, otherwise, if you name the bill, that is Muslim women protection of rights on marriage. The bill is just one-page bill. Where does it speak about the rights of marriage or rights of women in the bill? No such clause is there. Whether the bill described what are the rights the women get on a marriage, whether it described any rights for women in the bill, nothing. The name has no relevance at all. So this is what we are going to face. So, and I want to tell some more things which are related, not particularly related to this bill. The government is on its own way to amend so many things, even in the basic legal structure. They want to amend the Criminal Procedure Code also. Now, the Criminal Procedure Code says that any person who is charged with some complaint, he is immediately not treated as an accused. This is a clear understanding what we derived from the bill. And this bill, one thing, first I want to tell, the bill is not the requirement of the other. This is not required. And if at all you want to bring a bill, really to protect the rights of Muslim women, we are ready to support you, but you have to draft the bill in such a way. What is the protection you want to give? What is the path of government? If a government which comes forward to make a welfare activity for the people, then what it is going to do? So with all such classes and provisions, you make a new bill which we will all welcome, but this bill, it should be prevented from passing, and it is everyone's duty to oppose this bill and ask for proper amendments, and we always will be with you in this endeavor. We will support all your efforts, and we will also do the same thing in the areas of our work. With this kind of assurance, I want to leave this stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Madam Oviya.